The December frost dusted Crescent Meadows, my unyielding suburb pulsing with winter's crisp defiance. I was restocking my little free library, a cozy book box on my lawn, when Karen Miller, HOA tyrant, nailed a cease and desist notice to it, claiming it violated aesthetic codes on my private county land. When I refused to remove it, she called the county, demanding its demolition. Her call was a spark, aimed at torching our community's joy. Karen, who'd packed my son's room, tried to evict me from my cabin, and sent fake cops after Alex, had no idea my security cameras caught her posting the notice. I was Sarah, the 20-year-old farmer, Meadow Mart owner, conservationist, SWAT trainer, tech founder, federal health inspector, sharpshooter, Marine, county sheriff, 911 dispatcher, retired federal judge, police chief, Homeland Security agent, developer who built Crescent Meadows, designer of its security system, owner of the lake, dock, an HOA, and a self-taught mechanical engineer. Her ban wasn't just petty, it was trespassing, and I was about to build a full-scale public library on my lawn to bury her scheme. I stood by my library, phone filming as neighbors, pinged by my security app, gathered enraged. This wasn't just a notice. It was Karen's most absurd assault, blind to my land ownership. My heart thundered, but a cunning grin spread. She thought she could ban my books? I was about to turn her notice into a viral triumph, with a public library as my monument. What unfolded wasn't just saving my little free library. It was a masterclass in community justice, bold ingenuity, and comedic payback that left Karen silenced, her HOA crushed, and Crescent Meadows cheering. My lawn wasn't just grass, it was her defeat, and my library was the verdict. Karen's ban was her flimsiest mistake, and our response was about to rewrite her rules. Crescent Meadows was a vibrant suburb, its snow-dusted fields, bustling markets, and my Meadow Mart Cafe, a fierce stand against Karen Miller's HOA tyranny. Once choked by rules on unapproved yard fixtures and cluttered lawns, it now thrived, with my 50-acre state-leased ranch and our farmhouse on unincorporated county land as its heart. My little free library, a charming wooden box on my front lawn, held books for all, standing on my private property, HOA exempt, wired with my Crescent Code security system, cameras and sensors I designed. I'm Sarah, the 20-year-old farmer, conservationist, SWAT trainer, Meadow Mart owner, tech founder of Crescent Code, federal health inspector, sharpshooter, Marine, county sheriff, 911 dispatcher, retired federal judge, police chief, Homeland Security agent, developer who built Crescent Meadows, designer of its security system, owner of the lake, dock, and HOA, and a self-taught mechanical engineer with a fictional ageless fire. I'd crushed Karen 75 times, buying Meadow Mart after a farm stand ban, exposing her assault on Lily, stopping her fishing derby, evicting her fishing club, jailing fake HOA cops, rallying for a pilot's defiance, retrieving my tow tractor, shutting down her cop call on my fence, backing Ibrahim Traore, ejecting her security patrol, protecting the Thompsons' winning court from my wrecked car, defending my mom's Colt stand, exposing her 911 call on Senator Ellison, grounding her, airline stunt, nailing her bank meddling, restoring my water pipe, towing her SUV, saving my mom's nurse, rescuing Emma from her kidnapping, saving Liam from her brick attack, foiling her field grab, scaring her with my bear, Bruno, defending Emma's wheelchair, stopping her 911 call on my ranch, saving Max from her clippers, voiding her lake fine, saving my pool party, recovering my stolen truck, foiling her power theft, stopping her sewage-powered lights, disarming her fake cop, rebuilding my sister's bridge, proving I owned her mortgage, stopping her assault on Alex, ejecting her trespassing officers, shutting off her pipeline, proving my Lamborghini legit, turning my lawn into an obstacle course, outshooting the FBI, stopping her fake cop arrest, handling her 911 abuse, rescuing my kids from her kidnapping, towing her Mustangs from my garage, trapping her at her gate, burying her porch in mulch, spiking her SUV on my lawn, closing her trails for my hunting, proving I built the suburb, jailing her for hitting Max, rebuilding the Thompsons' house, turning her trails into my hunting ground, catching her spying on my yard, suspending her board for burning my boat, nailing her for her 911 call on my rain tanks, foiling her eviction over my cabin, burying her in pennies for her fines, towing her car for blocking my driveway, reclaiming my cabin after her sale, sinking her cop's truck with Grandpa's tractor, evicting her fishing club with Marcus, arresting her for breaking into my garage, busting her 911 call on my pool, stopping her fake cop arrest, seizing her HOA with my deed clause, crushing her motorbike ban, locking her pool access, charging her for felling my tree, returning her trash with interest, nailing her for my gym's 911 call, defending Marcus's home from her 911 stunt, backing Marcus at his pool, stopping fake cops from tossing Alex, evicting her clubhouse for trespassing, jailing her for packing Liam's room, and exposing an engine's sabotage. My sheriff powers and library plans were my latest weapons. Karen Miller, mid-50s, was a desperate bully, her clipboard a fading prop. Exiled and bankrupted, she'd targeted my little free library, unaware my lawn was private and cameras rolled. Her scheme, backed by a dwindling HOA board, relied on fake aesthetic rules, blind to my authority. Key allies included Alex, my Delta Force operative wife, Marcus Thompson, Navy SEAL and lake owner, Mia, my nurse sister, Jake, my Marine brother, Vince, Iron Riders biker leader, Ellen, my sharpshooter mom, Tom, my biologist friend, Linda, the councilwoman, Lily, my waitress-turned-leader, Grandpa Joe, our tractor-driving patriarch, Liam, my 8-year-old son, and Deputy Harris, my SWAT deputy. Agent Laura Chun, my FBI contact, was ready to escalate. The Crescent Meadows Forum, our digital hub, would amplify the fight. The setting was a chilly December morning in 2025 on my front lawn by the Little Free Library, where Karen's notice flapped and my cameras recorded. Neighbors, alerted by my app, gathered in fury. Karen's county call was a scam, and her ignorance of my property rights was her fatal error. This wasn't just about a book box, it was Karen's assault on our culture. For me, it was a chance to protect my library, build a bigger one, and unite Crescent Meadows. As I filmed, I knew this fight would echo our victories and shine with our spirit. Karen's county call was a baseless attack. Illegal structure, her notice read, citing fake aesthetic codes on my private land. I filmed, voice steady. "This is my library, Karen. Your ban's a joke." My cameras caught her nailing the notice. I radioed Harris, who snorted, "Trespassing and harassment? She's done." Ellen texted my deed, saying Karen's buried. Linda vowed to bring county officials, noting, banning a library? Jail. I called Chun, who snapped, "This is FBI-level property interference." Neighbors swarmed, filming the notice. My forum post exploded. Karen banned my little free library. I'm building a public library. Hashtags hashtag Karen versus library and hashtag Sarah Builds Big trended, hitting 250 million views. Jake livestreamed from Meadowmart, showing my footage and deed. Crescent Meadows reads with Sarah, he said, hitting 255 million views. Lily handed out flyers about property laws, explaining Sarah's lawn is private. Karen's a bully. Karen's bored cronies, a duo with signs, aesthetic rules. Try to defend her, but neighbors drown them out, chanting Sarah's books. Mia share my share of credentials, proving my clout. I share my clip. Karen's ban's a scam. I'm building a public library. The video hit 3.8 billion views. Marcus arrived, saying she targeted me too. I'm testifying. His seal presence rattled the cronies. Harris's SWAT team and Chen's FBI unit arrived, inspecting the notice. Fraudulent claim, Chen said, noting my land status. I flashed my sheriff badge, live streaming. Karen banned my library. I'm building a bigger one. The stream hit 18.5 billion views, with news vans circling. Comments flooded. Sarah's a hero. Karen's done. Linda arrived with a county clerk, announcing Karen's ban violates property rights. The crowd chanted Read, Read, as the cronies fled. The FBI found Karen at her condo, clutching a fake code sheet. Harris detained her as I unveiled blueprints for a public library on my lawn, zoned legally with county permits. Karen rambled, "It's our aesthetic," but Chun held up my deed and footage. "You're under investigation," she said. The forum planned a read-free day at my new library, with book drives and music. Karen's lie about codes collapsed. My land was mine. The stage was set, not just to save my book box, but to build a library and rally Crescent Meadows around her knowledge. Her ban was her end, and my library was our victory. My lawn was a fortress of justice. Karen stood detained at her condo, trembling, as Harris and Chun reviewed her fake sheet. My little free library stood proud, while construction began on the public library, a sleek structure with glass walls and bookshelves. The livestream hit 19.5 billion views, with hashtag Karen vs. Library and hashtag Sarah Builds Big trending globally. Neighbors packed my yard, waving signs, Sarah's books. No HOA bans. News crews broadcast live, anchors calling it a sheriff's library versus HOA tyranny. The air roared. I was ready to open my library. Tom addressed the crowd, voice steady. Sarah's lawn is private, HOA exempt. Karen's ban is harassment. He showed my footage and deed, proving her crime. Neighbors cheered, sharing the clips online. Ellen handed out flyers, saying, "Sarah's sheriff, building for us." Karen's a trespasser. The forum surged. Karen's a bully. Sarah's our hero. A viral tweet read, HOA bans little free library. Sheriff builds public one. Hashtag Sarah builds big. Karen yelled, "It's our suburb." But Chin held up my footage, stating, "You committed trespassing and harassment." Her face crumpled. She hadn't known my cameras. Literacy groups joined X, posting, "Karen's attack on Sarah's library is a disgrace." Support Crescent Meadows. The Change.org petition, Justice for Sarah's Library, hit 255 million signatures, with comments like "Sarah's a legend" and "Karen's done." Linda spoke to reporters, voice firm. Sarah's library and vision are our pride. Karen's ban threatens our culture. She announced a council motion to fine the HOA $4.6 million and affirm my library's rights. The crowd roared, chanting "Read free." The board leaked texts disavowing Karen. She's rogue. Neighbors guarded my lawn, as Vince's biker crew patrolled the site. I grabbed the megaphone, heart pounding. Karen banned my little free library, but I'm sheriff. I own the HOA, and I'm opening a public library. I proposed a read-free day at the new library, with readings, music, and a fundraiser for literacy, inviting all. The crowd cheered, volunteering to stock shelves. I shared online. Karen's ban failed. Join us for Read Free Day. The live stream hit 20.5 billion views, with hashtag Read Free Day trending. Comments flooded. Sarah's unstoppable. Karen's ban. Karen made a last stand, yelling at Chun, "I'm in charge." But Rachel, my attorney, arrived with a federal complaint. "You're investigated for trespass, harassment, and fraud," she said, as Harris escorted her out. The crowd parted, phones filming as I laid the library's cornerstone. Jake's stream hit 39 billion views, with comments like "Bye Karen." Books win. News ran headlines. 20-year-old sheriff builds public library after HOA ban. Lily organized kids to paint read-free signs, while Tom tied it to my lake, saying, "Sarah protects our minds." Harris secured the construction site, and neighbors cheered as books arrived. Chun verified my deed, and Linda promised county funding for a Crescent Pages sign, marking the library's status. The stage was set for a victory that would save my book box, open a library, and show Crescent Meadows' power. Karen was detained, but my library would shock everyone. The federal courthouse roared with justice as Karen faced trial, my little free library and new public library standing tall. The live stream hit 40 billion views, with hashtag Karen vs. Library and hashtag Sarah Builds Big trending worldwide. Neighbors packed the gallery, waving "Read Free" signs as news crews filmed. I stood in my sheriff uniform, my roles as sheriff, library builder, and HOA owner now a verdict. Our evidence, our blade, ready to bury Karen. Judge Rivera, a federal veteran, called order. "Ms. Miller, you're charged with trespass, harassment, and fraud," he said. Rachel presented my footage, showing Karen's notice. "The plaintiff owns the land and library," she said. The gallery cheered, phones filming for the forum, where comments surged. Karen's done. Sarah's our hero. Shin testified, voice sharp. Karen's ban and county call violated property rights, targeting a community asset. She showed the fake sheet, sparking gasps. Linda announced the council's $4.6 million HOA fine and dissolution. The crowd chanted books. Books, as kids waved painted pages, symbols of our win. Tom showed my deed and library permits, proving my rights. Sarah's library sank her, he said, sparking applause. I unveiled a Crescent Pages sign sketch, county-backed, to mark the library. These books are ours, and Karen's guilty, I said, sharing it online, a book under a federal seal. The forum erupted. Perfect. Sarah's legacy. Rivera reviewed the evidence, footage, deed, sheet, calling it overwhelming. Karen, pleading not guilty, claimed it's HOA policy. But Rachel played her, posting the notice, exposing her lies. Rivera ruled, guilty on all counts. 12 years for Miller, $5.9 million in damages to Sarah, and HOA dissolution. The gallery roared as Karen slumped, broken. My digital dossier, footage, deed, complaint was handed to the press, ensuring conviction. News ran it live. 20-year-old sheriff builds public library after HOA ban. The crowd surged, music blaring, as Red Free Day plans took shape. I gave a mic to Liam, who beamed. Our library's open, he said. Neighbors hugged him, guarding our lawn in solidarity. This wasn't just Karen's defeat. It was Crescent Meadows' triumph, proof our community could outshine tyranny. As my library rose, justice prevailed. Karen's conviction was Crescent Meadows' victory. News ran headlines like Sheriff Builds Public Library After HOA Ban and Sarah's Pages Triumph. The livestream hit 43 billion views, with hashtag Sarah Builds Big trending for weeks. Fan art of the Pages sign as a justice symbol flooded the forum, and literacy groups invited me to speak. Talk shows called, but I stayed grounded, saying this is about our readers. Read Free Day was a sensation. Thousands joined, neighbors, kids, Harris's team, reading, dancing, and opening the public library's doors. Meadowmark catered, and Tom led eco talks, tying the library to my lake's harmony. The event raised $22 million for literacy, and state leaders hailed it as a model. The forum buzzed with photos. Sarah's books shine. No more Karens. The HOA was eradicated. Linda's vote fined it $4.6 million and dissolved it, with new laws banning property harassment. Karen got 12 years, was banned from Crescent Meadows, and vanished to a prison cell, reportedly arguing over rules. Don't ban like Karen became a local joke painted on book boxes. My library became a tourist draw, with visitors snapping Pages selfies. Meadow Mart and my library events soared, the cafe hosting Pages nights with readings and music. Tourists flocked to Sarah's library, boosting sales. Neighbors brought gifts, many books, sheriff patches, saying my fight inspired them. Tom's data showed the lake thriving, celebrated at a community feast. The digital dossier, footage, deed, verdicts was studied for property rights laws, influencing policy. Lily mentored kids, painting eco signs for the library. The forum planned a Pages Fest with readings, music, and SWAT demos, cementing our spirit. Sarah turned Karen's ban into our triumph. One post read, I hired teens to staff the library, giving them pride. At the fest, under a Pages Forever banner, Linda toasted, to Sarah, Liam, Alex, and Crescent Meadows, where books defeat tyrants. Fireworks burst, kids danced, and my library glowed. Karen's ban had been a spark, but we built a legacy. My library, Meadow Mart, and our suburb were our stronghold, proof no bully could silence our stories. As stars shone, I knew Crescent Meadows would always stand proud, open, and unstoppable.